these are my questions.
Holy shit! That's a lot of talking points.
So, pretty much what I did was...
You're gonna have to really talk a lot louder than normal because this thing doesn't have good...
Okay, so basically what I did was I went through the first 6 parts of the Disney Cruise 2019 series.
As opposed to the last 6 parts.
As opposed to all 7 parts. This is the 7th part. Welcome. This is one of the first times that I'm doing a video like this, so it should feel very special on my channel to be in interview mode. And I went through, I basically told people to put their questions on part 6. So looking through part 6, there was, let's address these questions first. So Beth Foster asks, I would love to know if you two could go on any Disney cruise, what would be your dream itinerary? Alaska, Caribbean, Northern Europe, etc.
Can we give Beth a shout out first?
Sure.
Beth was our Disney planner, and she was great. And Scott's gonna link her info down below, because she's great. So, is the question for you?
I don't know. Well, we could both answer it. I think we kind of talked about this before, that, I mean, I think it would be cool to go to Alaska, to go to the Caribbean again, or to Northern Europe.
I'm guessing Europe would be the most out of our idealistic price range of all the trips.
Yeah. Well,
I wouldn't want to do Grand Cayman again. I think it's like, if we went on one, I think we'd want to pick one with a different stop.
But I'd go to Castaway Cay again.
Well, I think everyone in the Caribbean stops there, but only the Caribbean ones. The Mexico spot sounded cool, according to our assistant server.
Yeah,
he said
Johnny,
Cozumel is really cool.
Raving about Cozumel. So I don't necessarily think we answered the question. Go anywhere. I mean,
I definitely would liked that we did 5 nights. I wouldn't want to do less than 5.
Yeah.
I think 5+ is ideal.
Yeah, because you kind of get familiar with the ship. I don't know. I remember when we did the 7 days in Puerto Rico. No, in Dominican Republic.
I feel like
that was way too long.
I feel like it's so different though, being stuck in like a really uncomfortable resort where there's like weird restrictions. No, because there were like weird restrictions because of the bans, and like there was definitely a language barrier, and I feel like we had issues understanding necessarily like what we were and were not allowed to do. Whereas and this was like on the Disney cruise, can do whatever you want basically.
Yeah, everyone's relatively equal.
And
you can do whatever you want.
It's a very accommodating company, I feel like, where it's like they're not going to tell you. We've learned they're not allowed to tell you no.
Okay, so next question. Looks like you enjoyed the Kathy Stevens Designs asks, was it difficult coming back to the cold after enjoying the tropical warmth?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
I cried.
There's always an adjustment period, I think, but
I cried.
Yeah. Did the cruise have many activities or shows in the evening just for the adults? They did. They had a lot. There was the Magician was the entertainment for the entire ship on the first night, and he did a separate show just for the adults, so a little, what's the word? Not raunchy, a little more...
not PG.
PG-13, yeah, whatever kind of show.
Yeah,
in a smaller venue.
I wouldn't have called it an R-rated experience, but it was probably PG-13.
Yeah. So that was in a smaller venue, and it was sold out. Not sold out. There were no seats. There were basically no seats. Everyone was there was a lot of people standing watching, and that was really cool. And I didn't include any kind of footage or really make any sort of any allusions to that. Alluding.
I think we were also living in the moment, and I feel like there is a big thing where you don't want to ruin the magic of Disney and necessarily show everyone everything so that they can experience it for the first time themselves. Like, we didn't really show any of the shows we went to, but the shows were absolutely crazy amazing.
I thought I was alluding to, you know, that we did have shows, and there were things to do, kind of after dinner, you know, and one of them was that there are the shows, and there are, you know, different activities. I think there was trivia too, maybe. I don't know, maybe there might have been trivia. We don't think we
On the app, it'll say if like what age is permitted into the activity. So some will say 18 plus, some will say 21 plus. Some will say youth only, some will say teens, some will say all ages.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of stuff for the youth too that was going like well past midnight, which I thought was weird, but I guess you're on vacation, who cares? The one other thing, now let's move on to, so I went through each part, like I said, and I came up with questions for things about Burke as I was watching the videos. So, what was your favorite part of part 1? Do you remember?
Do we have to do it that specific? Because I did not just rewatch.
Okay, how was the flight? Did you get motion sickness? These are questions I had to ask.
How was the flight? The flight down was a lot better than the flight home.
What do you remember about the big margarita?
The big margarita was really good, and it's the first margarita that was ever too big for me to be able to finish. It was so large.
Why did you choose the place we stayed at first?
Are you gonna like make hotel information for them or something?
I can.
So, the reason I chose the hotel in Hollywood Beach was for a few reasons. One, we flew in through Fort Lauderdale because that airport's a lot less crazy than Miami, and it's like 30 minutes away from Miami to begin with. So I chose Hollywood Beach because the actual beaches that were on the beach in Miami were double the price. And Hollywood Beach, we were able to get a hotel that was right on the beach, and I knew we were going to be getting in before check-in, so my plan was we would be able to drop our bags off and go right onto the beach, which is what we wound up doing. And it was really great. You could walk everywhere. You didn't need a car since we didn't have a car. Everything was like right. It was basically almost like a boardwalk that we were staying on. That's why I picked it.
Next I have tips for boarding. I think that's for boarding the cruise ship. So, are there any, do you have any?
Have your passport. I mean, they send you a list of what you need before you get on the ship. Make sure you have your tag on your luggage, because before you even go in to board, they take your luggage for you.
Yeah, that was when we got dropped off. I guess we walked across the street because we saw some people standing in a line. We got there really early, and someone. So how do we even figure it out?
We asked a Disney person.
We asked a Disney person, and she's like, "Well, did you give your bags in?" And we're like, "No." We're like holding them, and she's like, "Oh, go over to there." And
it's chaotic because the ship is deboarding while we're getting ready to board. So like there are people actively getting off with their luggage and people getting ready to go on. So it's like you kind of have to figure out which one is which. But
right.
I mean, anyone who looks like they work for Disney will answer your questions.
Yeah. Tips for getting through security and bag choices. Do we have specific bag choices?
Tips for getting through security? I mean, I think that was it. Have your, your ticket and your passport because you're going out of the country. I don't know. It's not like airport security. It's not that bad.
It definitely wasn't.
And everyone is literally dressed up in their Disney attire. Like it's a very happy experience.
But I think what I did remember was they're like, just throw everything into your backpack. Like as opposed to, I guess in the airport you have to like put your laptop and shoes off and all that stuff. You kind of just throw everything into one bag and just put it through the
it's border control. It's not the TSA.
We went to the wrong place when we first got in there. We were kind of overwhelmed with where we were on the ship and everything, and we wanted to go to the buffet. But I remember we asked someone, we're like, "Hey, like, we might have said like, where's the food?" In her sense, and she was like, "Oh, like, you gotta go down this hallway and down the stairs," and she gave us perfect directions, absolutely perfect direction to Lumiere's, which was not where we wanted to go, but we weren't necessarily clear. I think as to where we wanted to go. And
it wasn't the end of the world.
Maybe she did say go upstairs and we heard downstairs. No, it totally wasn't the end of the world, but it was just if you wanted to go to the...
We wanted to go to the buffet, but we wound up at...
You go upstairs.
It's not like we weren't allowed to not go to the buffet.
Yeah. No, so that's kind of what I said. It didn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. There's no such thing as a mistake. The story about me and the mac and cheese, did you want to tell it?
He ordered off the kids' menu and they made fun of him. And I also made fun of him because they gave him a dish that was shaped like Mickey Mouse's head.
Yeah. And then the guy made a big deal by putting like ketchup in the shape of a Mickey Mouse. He was very excited to do that. You were so excited for the Sail a Wave party. Did it live up to the hype, would you say?
We didn't have a good spot, I will say, for the Sail a Wave party. It was really hard to see. Okay. A lot of the big boat parties, it's really first come first serve, I would say.
Yeah.
Obviously, you let the little kids up front, but I'm not talking about the little kids in the front wagon dance. It's more like the big people.
Yeah, we were on the second deck. Second deck. I think the party's on the 9th deck, and we were on the 10th deck, deck 10, looking over to kind of see. So we didn't even have a good view from there. Not that there was really. I don't think there was
if you were. It's just supposed to be fun, so that you're not focused on the things.
That's just what I mean. If you miss it, it's not. This is again not the end of the world. How did you like the adult pool section?
It was really nice. It was very, very, very quiet. They just played Zen music, and it was crowded a lot, but also I don't think we really had that many issues with ever finding a spot. Sometimes it wasn't necessarily the exact spot we wanted, but we always were able to find a spot in that area. Whether it be on the top or the bottom, we always got the spot.
And then it was also there's chairs that were all the way in the back facing, the water versus facing the pool side. So, but typically, they have a bunch of extra chairs stacked up. You can ask someone to help you and set up lounge chairs so you can kind of just chill wherever on the deck. They're really chill. They really don't care. So, let's do this one. Didn't really go into detail about the shows throughout the vlogs, but how did you like the shows? We kind of touched on that a little bit.
Yeah, we saw 3 shows. One was called Twice Charmed, and that was a remake of Cinderella, or an alternate Cinderella. We saw Rapunzel, which was Rapunzel. And then we saw...
It's basically exactly the movie.
It was very well done.
Twice Charmed was sort of a follow-up to the Cinderella story.
Yeah, and then we also saw... Something about Dream.
Yeah.
Was it just called Disney Dreams?
I think it was just called Disney Dreams.
And that was all of the Disney movies, kind of.
Yeah, there was kind of a montage, but they were going back through all the different characters.
I don't like to say too much. I like to make it a surprise.
Alright, let's leave it at that. That's cool. And do you like them?
Oh, they were awesome. It was magical. I cried a lot during the last one.
So another question kind of related to that is we went. So they have the shows at 6, and then they have it again at 7:30, something like that.
No.
Was that what it was? They had the shows at 6 and 8.
No.
So they had 2 shows.
I don't remember they're whenever the other person's eating dinner.
Right. So that's what I mean is that we went to the early show and then we went to the late dinner, and then there were people that went to the early dinner and then the late show. Thanks. That was sweet for you to say. And then, so did you like that?
I liked going to the late dinner because we were on vacation. I didn't really feel like we had to eat at 5:15. I feel like that would have been way too early. I wouldn't have been ready to just eat because, you eat a lot on the boat. Well, yeah, I guess you eat a lot on the boat. I feel like having that gap where we just had to sit and watch a show without eating, it helped you prepare for dinner. Whereas I feel like a lot of times, even when you would be coming back from the pool, you would stop and get pizza on your way. It was almost like you would be going right from eating into eating, and I liked having that gap. And again, the later dinner has less kids because a lot of people with the kids were having earlier dinner because of the kids.
That was the other thing I was going to say. I just remembered that, after dinner, like footage that I took after dinner was sometimes me coming back with like a plate of pizza. That's the room.
I feel like you also should specify we were on the Disney Magic. So, like, all these experiences are sort of unique to the Disney Magic. We cannot speak for the other boats.
Sure. Why did you hate looking out into the dark ocean?
Because I'm scared of the ocean.
But as someone that's scared of the ocean, how did you go throughout the trip while being scared of the dark ocean? Like at night and all that stuff.
When it was dark, I didn't look. I was scared of like pirates boarding our ship. That was my real fear. I wasn't even scared of like seasickness.
Pirates
jumping.
And there were no pirates.
There's pirate night,
well,
but that was a different
pirate,
kind of pirate. Very different kind.
But to those that might be scared of that,
I would just stay off the deck that has the track. I think that's scary.
Yeah, it's like deck 4, I think. That it has a track that you can kind of run around or walk.
It was a little too much because I assume at night the speed of the boat picks up. I think that's how it works with a cruise. Like it goes slower during the day and it speeds up at night.
Possible.
No, I'm fairly certain that's how it works. So it's a lot windier because it's like it's flying.
All right. So going on to part 2, my question was, what was your favorite meal as far as like breakfast, lunch, and dinner that you like looked forward to? Would you say?
See, I'm not much of an eater, so I wasn't very food motivated on this trip at all. Like I ate the same thing almost every day because I don't eat a lot of food. So I think this is a better question for you because they all food.
I mean I thought they were all good. I was able to find something to eat for each one. I think the dinner had the least options, so I was the most kind of.
I think because we have a very different kind of diet. I think for somebody who literally eats anything and everything, there were a lot of options, but we don't eat pork. We don't really eat beef. We don't eat shellfish. So
I mean. There's always like they had the second options on the menu for dinner where it was like you can what do they call it, the blender options? They use the fancier term.
No, it was like the healthy options. It was like the plain chicken and the plain
they use the
fish.
fancy term for plain. So you can always have that. But I was just gonna say, was that like breakfast and lunch?
It was just a buffet. I don't really even like.
Okay. So, was it easy to get drinks?
Yes, and if the best drink I had was, where did we play bingo? Was that Fathoms?
I think so, yeah.
They had the best drink I had the whole ship. It was just a margarita, but I mean, I had a couple margaritas, and I mean,
there are always those guys walking around trying to ask you if you want.
Yeah, and I mean, you can get a drink very easily. They come up. They want you to buy drinks.
Who saw Havana, Cuba first? That was me. So.
You saw it, and I told you what it was. So, who identified it?
Okay. I recommend bringing a book. I was listening to an audiobook. What did you do for fun?
So, this is a good question because I did bring a book because I thought I was going to be able to. But
and you didn't read it.
But I get really motion sickness on airplanes if I read. So I did not know I was going to have that same experience on a boat, and I did. So I listened to the Cult Leader podcast.
You hate podcasts?
Well, it's true crime. It's like about murder and stuff. I can listen to that stuff easily.
There's podcasts for everyone. Would you do the meet the characters again?
Yeah, I really think I would. It was really awkward. The thing is, I would have loved to get pictures with other characters, but the actual lines... they were long. Definitely, if I had kids with me, I would have taken a better opportunity of the professional photography, 100%. Because it's even like looking at our professional photos that we didn't take ourselves, they look a lot better than our iPhones. So yeah, I think if we had kids on the boat, I 100% would have taken advantage of getting actually good quality photos of them. But for just you and me, it was unnecessary.
I noticed you signed up for the 5K but didn't run. Can you expand upon that?
You know, wasn't my day. It was really hot. You were dying, okay? If you were dying, I would have actually physically died. It was really, really hot. No, but it wound up working out because I went and got us a chair, 2 chairs, and you didn't have to listen to me whine. I mean, it was a win-win, honestly.
There you go. Which was your favorite show? Yeah, which was your favorite show?
I don't know if I could pick one, honestly. They were all very, very well done. I'm not going to answer that question. I refuse.
Alright, so this next question, why did we put in that we didn't like our teammates? So, I was just going to kind of say that you get sat with other couples or families. I think some families still get sat with other families.
I think it depends how big the party you're with is.
Yeah.
So if you're like a family of 4, you probably just sit together at a 4-person table. But there was 3 couples of 2 put at a 6-person table. So
yeah.
I think it was...
So some couples you like, some you don't. Not the end of the world. That's all I wanted to say about that.
Some you like and some you don't. Definitely.
That's all I wanted to say about that. Okay, so moving on to part 3. What was your favorite part about the Game of Thrones?
I got a really cool T-shirt, long sleeve tee.
The tender boats took about 45 minutes. That was just a comment I had. Did you have any
You mean like
comments about it?
waiting? You mean like coming back onto the?
Yeah, one way was 45 minutes, right?
No, getting there was really fast. Coming back, we had to wait for the one before us to unload.
Yes, we did. I'm saying, as far as like a whole process, like from standing behind the gates to getting like back on the boat, it was like 45 minutes or something.
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Are you glad we did this snorkeling adventure?
Alright, I'm glad we did the snorkeling for you because when I snorkeled in the Dominican Republic and you scuba dived, it was a very similar type of snorkeling and you had wished you could have done it. It was not my favorite snorkeling adventure.
So, there were no turtles?
I signed up for this specific snorkeling because the photo was just a picture of a turtle.
Great advertising.
Yeah, there were no turtles. There really weren't a lot of anything.
That was my next question was, how did it compare to Dominican Republic and Mexico? Because you did snorkeling all 3 places now.
So, and all 3 have been very different. Dominican Republic, apparently there are no rules because they just did whatever they wanted, which is probably illegal. In Mexico, it was a much more relaxing experience, but you didn't like it because you had to keep your life vest on and you got uncomfortably seasick, apparently. I like a good relaxing snorkel where I can just like float like a dead body and look down. That's my kind of snorkeling. That is not what this was.
Because of the type of
Life vest.
that they have.
I had to tread water the whole time, and I'm not maybe the most relaxed individual when it comes to being in water.
So we went back to the boat early. Would you say it was early?
Yeah.
Before lunch.
We snorkeled, souvenired, boat.
And then we like basically went right back to the boat. Was it a good decision?
It was a good decision. First of all, we didn't have to pay for lunch that way. Second of all, it was cool to be able to go to the Dominican. It was cool to be able to go to the Caymans, but it really wasn't like that amazing. Like there wasn't anything that was like groundbreaking there. Like it wasn't like we were missing out. And the boat,
maybe there was. Let us know.
The boat was really cool. We had fun on the boat. It's not like we were going back to be bored. Like we actively had a good time. And it's a resort.
Yeah, I got to go on the slide and why didn't you go down the slide?
Again, I'm not someone who is relaxed in anything relating to water.
Do you regret?
Not at all. Absolutely not. You could not pay me to go down that slide.
So what did you think about Pirate Night? Did it live up to the hype?
I thought Pirate Night was cute. I definitely see how it's like really cute for kids. I know a lot of people get very into Pirate Night and bring their full pirate costumes. I don't feel like I missed out by not doing that, but I don't judge anyone who chooses to do that.
Would you bring more costumes next year?
No, I don't feel like I brought not enough Disney-related paraphernalia.
You thought you brought the right amount.
I felt comfortable with what I brought.
Okay. So moving on to part 4. So do you think the Christmas cruise was Christmas enough?
Yeah. I mean, that's a yes or no question. I would say yes.
Okay. The lines for the characters. So our friend Bosco, they said they did Spider-Man. What it was, and he said it went fast. But we were about to get in line for Thor, and it was wrapped around the.
It wouldn't be worth it because if you didn't really talk about the app, but the app says when and where everything's happening, so it includes where the characters are going to be on the ship, and they're only wherever they are for photo ops for 15 minutes. So you would assume if you don't get to the front of the line by 15 minutes, like, you're not getting a picture.
That was a good point. I really didn't touch on the app at all, but that was a huge part of the experience, the ship experience, was being able to. If we were away from each other, then we're able to communicate. Like, you're able to communicate with
Anyone
on the boat,
sure.
because they have the ad hoc network set up so that you can connect to their DCL Wi-Fi, and that Wi-Fi is, I mean, it's also available on the island too, to be able to
Not Castaway
Key Island, to be able to communicate to your family and anyone else. You can get your
Apparently,
family.
there's a Pokestop and a gym on Castaway Key, and we didn't know.
We did. How was trivia?
That was fun. That was about my level of
That was
actively engaging in the community because it's a very personal thing. You don't have to like really be.
Well, there was trivia. There was the bingo.
Bingo was fun, but you have to pay for bingo. That's not free.
We didn't go to any of those games, did we? They did have games. Now that I think about
Yeah,
it,
they had like the
games at
newlywed
night.
game.
Newlywed game.
Yeah, they had stuff like that. They have a lot of stuff. A lot of the stuff was past my bedtime, as they would say.
Yeah. Well, that was.
We're also early risers.
Right.
Like, a lot of people sleep really late on vacation. I can't do that.
Right. You'll notice in a lot of vlogs that have these time lapses of the sunrise. We got up early.
And in the beginning of all the vlogs, it's just like you and me walking around on the boat.
And there's
no one's
no
around.
one. There's no one because everyone's sleeping.
We would always be like the first at breakfast because breakfast opened at like.
We would typically have to wait an hour to an hour and a half for breakfast to open.
Yeah.
So are there any activities you wish you did do or didn't do? Start with what you wish you did do.
Wait till we get to Castaway Key to talk about that. But you mean like on the boat?
Yeah. Are there any activities that you're like,
I mean, once we started having fun at trivia, if there had been trivia earlier on the boat that we maybe missed, so that. But I had fun at trivia, but I don't know, there wasn't anything that was like, oh man, we didn't do that. That I can think of at least.
So part 4, this was day 5, was the day where I was like, alright, let's try and do as many activities as possible. That's why we did towel folding. We did the 3 trivias in one day. We'll never get that time back. We did bingo that day. We did the comedian. That was the night that the comedian was there. That was it. We just kept
it was a day at sea.
It was the day at sea. Yeah. It's the second day at sea. Okay. So.
I will say something we never did room service. People rave about room service. We never did that.
Yes.
That's one of the only things I think you physically need cash for to tip the people who bring the food to your room, but we never did that, but apparently the cheese platter is great. Everyone says that.
No, I mean, we were really close to the cabanas where they went to dinner the one night, and we went to basically breakfast and lunch every day. And it was, 3 floors up? Because we were on the 6th deck, and it was on the 9th deck, so we were super close, right on that side, right underneath it. So moving on to part 5. Yeah, so I liked Castaway Key again, because Castaway Key, because everyone calls it Castaway Key, because you can go on and off the boat as opposed to the tender boat. to using the tender boats at Cayman Islands, and I mean it wasn't like a deal breaker or anything, but I think I only did the one time where I had to run back on, run back off, but anyway, how beautiful is the island?
The island was awesome.
I remember saying it was worth the cruise just to go to Castaway Cay. Do you agree?
It was really cool. Now, when you sign up for excursions, you do it when you check in, like a month or so before your cruise, and that's when we signed up for snorkeling. Knowing what I know now, I would not have signed up for the snorkeling we did, and I would have signed up for the stingray thing at Castaway Cay.
Yeah, I heard really good things about the stingray encounter, whatever you call it.
Sounded awesome.
Yeah. Which you can sign up for.
Yeah, but we didn't know.
On the ship. Yeah, we didn't know. But that's something that you wish you would have done. Yeah, definitely. So they do have a tram car in the island. Definitely take the tram car. You might have to wait a while. There was one time in when I got in the tram car, and I was like, I wanted to go back to the ship, I think, and it took me like to one stop before, and then it took me all the way back down. Were you with me then? It took us all the way back down, and then we came back on the tram. I don't really understand the stops on the tram car, but it's definitely especially walking. And it's really hot and stuff, so stay safe. There were bikes. There were a lot of bikes, but we didn't use them. Did you see a lot of people using the bikes?
I saw a couple people riding bikes.
Yeah. Did you go in the water Serenity Bay?
I put my feet in.
Put your feet in, yeah. It was really cold that day. I don't know if it's typically always that cold, but it was really cold that day.
You mean the water? The air was not cold. It was very hot.
It was very hot, but the water was cold.
We put our chairs like up and put our feet in the water.
Yeah, I went in the water and I was kind of swimming a little bit. I don't really think there's ever a point that you can go to because it's like roped off where you can't really stand.
It's very shallow.
It's very shallow. It's literally like this big. How was lunch? I forgot what you when I was going through this. I forgot what you ate.
I thought the lunch buffet was good. It's part of your like cruise, so it's free, just like everything on the boat. It's
yes.
Free, but the cookies.
Are really good.
And the food. So I think there's 3 food places, 2 in the regular area, 1 in the adults only. Adults only area is a lot less crowded and crazy.
Yes. Yeah, there are 2 regular, right, and 1 right. And if you can go to the adult one, it's a lot less crazy. Mm-hmm. From what we heard, I didn't even see. Did you even see the other one? And I don't remember even kind of going. Are we keeping you awake? Did you try any of the cookie and ice cream concoction? No.
I didn't either.
Good for you. Good for you. Good for you.
Although I did get a strawberry ice cream cone, I think.
I think you had some cookie though, didn't you?
I tried one of the cookies.
You just had ice cream. We bought stuff. Did you want to talk about that? We bought some stuff.
We didn't buy a lot. Honestly, everything's expensive. It's Disney.
Yeah. They had a lot of 5K stuff. I was really surprised. It's like, I survived the 5K Castaway, which was cool. I was gonna buy. There was like a hat. I think I was gonna buy or something. They had like magnets and T-shirts.
Honestly, it really depends.
I survived the 5K.
It really depends when you go on this cruise, because we went on this cruise right when Frozen 2 came out. So it was a lot of Frozen merchandise.
There were.
Like I was wanting like Avengers or Star Wars stuff. And there wasn't a lot. There was barely any of that stuff. So, it really depends when you go on the cruise. What kind of stuff you can buy.
How was the pricing like compared to Cayman Islands? Would you say that you regretted not buying more at Cayman Islands versus Castaway Cay?
I mean, the Cayman Islands
didn't really matter.
price everything up because it was souvenirs, and they can price everything up.
Yeah.
Just-
Because they had like other stores that were just like Castaway Key, but it was it was like Bahamas store, so they had like bags and stuff, right? And different T-shirts that like Bahamas on, so it wasn't just Disney type stuff, type souvenirs. The Duck Inn Diner, yeah, that was the only time we got the Duck Inn Diner that day. But the Duck Inn Diner's open
the same amount of time as the pizza place, I think.
Yeah, I think the pizza place is open like a little later, but yeah. Oh, happy anniversary!
Yeah, tell them it's your anniversary. They sing to you apparently.
Yeah, definitely. As a life hack for going on Disney cruise, tell them it's your anniversary, and regardless of if.
I think that other people got nice things too, like in their room.
Yeah, we didn't do that. We kind of
piggybacked off our friends we made.
Right. I think we told we told Sampang while we were there, and we were like, yeah, it was technically our anniversary. Because, I mean, typically, you set this up, 6 months in advance or something?
I mean,
so it literally was or it was going to be.
It was technically 2 weeks after our anniversary. It wasn't like we were really that far
That's
along.
what I mean. You're either going to have just had your anniversary when you planned it, or your anniversary is coming up, or had. So, it's not necessarily a lie. Okay, so part 6. So you want to go again? Which reason why? We kind of already touched on that.
We talked about that. Yeah, we want to go on one again. I mean, right now, no. But I would space it out a little. But yeah, I would definitely go again. I would go with more people, but I would be selective.
Yeah, I think it would have been really cool to have a lot of different, like family and friends going too.
The thing is, like, even like the people that we made friends with on the boat, like, they were late sleepers, late nighters. Like, I feel like just being able to like eat dinner with someone that you got along with. I don't think that I would care so much about having someone who wants to do the same things as me during the day, but just being able to like sit down and go to like the shows and stuff.
Yeah, right. That's what I was gonna say, was being able to go to dinner, to just like, hey, like we meet up at meals. Oh, what did you do? Oh, we tried this, we tried that. You should try this, and we'll try something else. Like, it's kind of just more being able to kind of explore things is kind of my thought.
I'm more of a I'm on vacation, I'm relaxing kind of person, where I know a lot of people are I'm on vacation, I need to do things kind of person, and I'm not like that.
That's just kind of what I meant. I'm not cutting any of this out.
You're joking.
This is a podcast.
That's not.
This is, you can't cut out.
Are you joking?
Okay. Why did you pick the place in Miami Beach?
So, similar to our arrival, I knew we would be getting off the boat early, and I assumed it would be before a time we could check in. So I picked a place in South Beach, knowing that South Beach is an area in Miami where you really can walk around and get anywhere you need to go. So I chose a hotel in South Beach, which luckily they had a room available when we got there, like 11 a.m. ish.
Yeah.
It was significantly before check-in.
Yeah, you get off the boat like really early that last day. Mm-hmm. You basically have breakfast. What was it? You have breakfast.
You get up, and breakfast depends on which meal you eat. So if you're you're in the early meal time slot, you are going to breakfast earlier that day than the second.
It was like 6:30.
It was very early. Like, they want you off that boat very early that day, so they feed you breakfast and they push you right off.
I think they were 6:30 and we were 8, something like that. 6:30 and we were 8:30, something like that. So,
I picked a place in South Beach, and I mean, everywhere in South Beach we were able to walk to. We didn't need a car. We were able to walk to restaurants, shops, the beach, everything.
I'm not cutting this out. Okay, what did you think about the restaurant Big Pink?
I think it's worth the experience, but oh my god, the food there.
So big. I was showing.
I don't understand how it's worth it to them to serve such big portions.
I don't know, because I couldn't finish it. And if you're going there as vacation, I couldn't, take that home with me.
Like, we literally ate lunch and didn't eat again
We
until the
could
next
not.
day.
That's why there was no footage of dinner that night, because we did not eat dinner. I was dead. I was like,
That's saying a lot
I was
for
so
him.
full.
Not
I was
for
so
me,
full.
but for
I think I ate half of it. I was so full. I was showing Mike it the other day, and he was like, "Oh, is that even a bird? Like what kind of animal is that? I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea how they made that. So bad. So that Versace mansion story, can you like kind of close up some storylines? Because you kind of said like, oh, Versace,
His name
Johnny.
is... That's not how you spell his name. It's Gianni, but it's Johnny Versace. We went to the Versace...
Gian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We went to the Versace mansion because I wanted to go see it.
Our hotel was what, 2 blocks, 3 blocks?
Yeah.
She did that on purpose. And yeah, so what was the story?
You want to know about how he died?
I want to know just the story because because for me watching part 6.
If you're very interested, there's a movie, or is it a short? You know, I think it's a mini-series. It's a mini-series.
You want to link it?
Sure. I forget exactly what it's called off the top of my head, but I'll link it. It's a mini-series and it goes over about the man who killed Versace, but it also tells you a little bit about Versace's life. I will say Ricky Martin is in the movie. He plays Johnny's boyfriend. But yeah, there was somebody who was obsessed with Johnny and he got mad at him and he killed him on the front steps of the mansion. I watch a lot of true crime sort of things.
So that was a little more complete, I felt like, than what was in the vlog. I didn't have that kind of information. Okay. Yeah, so I will upload this next Friday.
Tell them. They know.
They know.
You didn't tell me it was an unedited. I've been doing dumb things. You need to edit it.
Can we do it again and not edit it?
No, you need to edit it.
I know.
If you want to do a podcast, next time you need to tell me because I've been like doing things this whole time. Like
Alright, we'll go through it and we'll cut out this. Okay? So let me know if there are any questions we didn't answer. That you had. Let me know if there are any questions that you had that we did not answer.
You should also say let me know if there's something else you want to say on the channel.
Do you like our podcast?
It's not a podcast. I was not told it was a podcast.
It's a podcast.
Let him know if there's anything else you're interested in seeing on his channel.
Do you
because
think we did a good job at a podcast? We could do a podcast.
I always said to you and I could do a podcast.
Why can't this be a podcast?
Because I didn't know it was a podcast and I thought it was
spontaneous podcast.
No. If we're doing a podcast in the future, you will tell me because I am not good at unedited.
Alright.